Okay, welcome to the weekly or almost weekly share of the Zera Shimshon. I totally apologize for last week because we had my grandson's chasana. It was the aufruf, and then we had the chasana Monday night, and we were relatively busy. And then my daughter visited from Chutz La'aretz, and I was really very hectic. So anyway, I'm going to do a short one today, and I hesitate to do this one, and you'll see why, but I think it's a very important concept to have in mind because a lot of people don't understand this, okay? So this is called the forbidden meat, okay? Safsuf. It's Tesvav Sivan Tavshin Pei Daled, and it's Erev Shabbos. Okay, so hopefully everybody will get this and have we still have Sheva Brachas this week in the Vayakov for and the Ganze Mishpacha is coming again. Baruch Hashem. Hasaf Sufa Shebekirboy His Avu Ta'ava. The rabble. I love what the rabble in their midst desired, and they sat and they cried. Yashuvu v'yivku gam b'nei Yisrael v'yomeru mi yachilenu basar. So now normally Safsuf is interpreted, and that's the Targum Yonason says also, it's the Erev Rav. They were the ones that Moshe Rabbeinu invited. God wasn't so happy about it. So anyway, they were the ones that caused the Chet HaEgel, and now they're complaining it didn't have meat, whatever. Troubles, okay. So the Rebbeinu Shalom forbade the generation of the wilderness, the Dor HaDeya, right, from eating meat for enjoyment, but not future generations. So we're not permitted to do that. Why? Since the Jewish people saw Hashem face to face, as it were, at Mount Sinai, at Har Sinai, and he even heard his voice, the voice of God, it was not proper for them to consume meat. Why? So Pirkei, the Rabbi Eliezer in chapter 40 says that the generation of the Midbar did not suffer from worms. In other words, so when you eat meat, it could be there's parasites in it, and it can infect the body. So they didn't suffer from that at all. Since eating meat causes the proliferation of worms or parasites in a person's body, as it says, increase flesh, increase worms. So that's a pasuk in Pirkei Avos. Not me saying this, okay? The Dor HaMidbar was commanded to stay away from meat. Didn't the Yidden partake of kodshim meat? Yes, they did. So because that meat was holy, and Hashem wanted the Jews to eat it, but not for mere enjoyment. So in other words, if you understand that being karbonos, the eating the meat of karbonos, it actually elevates a person spiritually. The food that person eats at a Sudas mitzvah, or at a festival Yom Tov meal, or Shabbos meal, will not ultimately be food for the worms. That's from Reishis Chachma, Shahar Kedusha. That's why Klal Yisrael were commanded to eat the holy kodshim meat, which would not turn into worms or parasites. But were warned to refrain from the consumption of regular meat, which does turn the food in for worms when a person dies. This commandment was only applicable to the generation of the wilderness who heard and saw Hashem. They were thus on a much higher level than those who came after them, who were given the permission to enjoy meat whenever they want, as long as it's kosher. So that's what the Parshat, and that's what the end of Zera Shimshon. So everybody should have in mind that when we eat any food, for that matter, certainly meat, that we have the capability of elevating it to a higher level, and therefore preventing ourselves from getting any sickness. All right, everybody have a wonderful Shabbos, and Mazel Tov to the Chassan and Kala, Menachem Mendel, and Adina Chava.
And their last name will now be Goodman. Okay. All right. Zai Gabidge, everybody wonderful. Call to bye.